They put Michael in a capsule and cloned it. Brought him back 2 years as the clone, and Michael Jackson was watching all of this like, I can't believe they're doing this. So what happened to Michael? He just lived his life. Michael Jackson is still alive. He's already appeared on TV, but y'all didn't even know who he was. Go back and watch the CNN of Larry King, the guy with the glasses with the real bad burnt victim that played like Michael Jackson saved him when he was a kid. That's Michael Jackson. It burned him so bad it disfigured him. It tore up his skin. It did everything to him. You understand what I'm telling you? And also, after Michael was cloned, the real Michael Jackson, they bleached his skin so he would look nothing like Michael. If you look at the dude who was on Larry King telling you about his childhood, how Michael Jackson helped him, he looks just like Michael. Just look at his eyes. That's Michael Jackson. He's disfigured. That's how he looked when he got done with the Pepsi commercial.
Joining us now here in Los Angeles, Miko Brando, who was with us almost every night after this untimely passing, longtime Michael Jackson friend attending the funeral, and Dave, yes, that's his name, Dave. He was David Rothenberg. He was set on fire in 1983, suffered, as you can see, terrible scars. Michael Jackson befriended him and paid for a lot of his surgeries. Dave is also attending the burial. Why Dave?
Well, to liberate myself from the confines of my father's criminality.
He caused the fire?
Yeah. He is a criminal, and he caused all this. To free myself of his name and his legacy, I decided to become my own person through changing my name.
How did he find out about you, Dave?
He heard about me, and he had contacted me and wanted to meet me.
How old were you at the time?
I was about 7 years old at the time.
And were you in the hospital?
I was not in the hospital at the time. I was in interim back and forth from surgery.
And what did he do for you?
Well, basically, he befriended me. He took me into his life, which is very rare for Michael to do. But he opened up his arms to me and accepted me as a very good friend of his. And throughout the years, he never let me go.
Were you surprised, Dave, to hear from him when you were 7?
Oh, it's a very interesting story, Larry. It was kind of, the visit to his Encino house was very impromptu, and it was kept a secret by my mother. And I had always been kind of a admirer of his, not a fan per se, but I always loved his music. And my mother surprised me one day and brought me up to Neverland. And I entered an arcade, and there were all these Paul McCartney records all over this, The Girl Is Mine, and, you know, this and that. And I remember sitting down, and at the time, my favorite video games, my favorite video game was Pole Position. And I was playing Pole Position, and I felt a little tap on my shoulder, and I turned around, and there was Michael.
Hold it right there.
And you know what, Larry?
What?
At that moment, we embraced, and that embrace never ended throughout our whole entire friendship.
Dave, what don't we know about him we should know?
Well, I believe what people fail to realize is that Michael was a human being. Throughout the years, I think he was kind of stigmatized by the media, and I believe that wasn't really helpful to him or to anybody around him. I believe that Michael was a great person. He has never hurt a soul, and I am happy to have been his friend for all these years and been a dedicated friend.
One artist who got that opportunity was Akon. A couple of years ago, Michael invited him to a studio in hopes of writing new music. What resulted was one of the most memorable moments of Akon's life.
Like, my favorite moments was the day we actually met, because I didn't expect him to be that cool. You know what I'm saying? I love movies. He was a moviegoer. He loves movies as well. And he was like, yo, man, I gotta take you to this theater. This new technology they got is like 4D. Like, it feels like, so we get into the theater, and then the manager greets us up front. So he comes and hands us the tickets. We're all seated. So as we, talking, sometimes I forget that he's supposed to be in his disguise, And I keep calling him Mike. Right, and this little girl hears us. She's like, and she looks over, and I think she recognized him. Like, I really think she did. So then when I realized she was peeping, then I start calling him Dave. But she wasn't stupid. So she runs up, full speed, goes all the way to the top of the theater. And I see her whisper. And I look up, and the girl's just pointing. And I know she's not pointing at me. Like, I didn't know this. And I think he kind of felt it, too. So right before the movie was over, we just all got up and started walking out. But by the time we got to the car, everybody in that place knew that possibly that could have been him. It was just the funniest thing, man.
Now, when Michael first came back, didn't nobody really know how to take it, all right? Because I can't recall if Billie Jean came out before the Pepsi commercial. But Michael sold his soul way before then, because he did the Wiz commercial when Billie Jean wasn't even thought of. When he did the Wiz play, when he said you can't get in, you can't get out the game, Michael sold his soul a long time ago, because Joe Jackson sold his children out long ago, and Joe Jackson forced his kids to have sex with Berry Gordy and Quincy Jones, and amongst the other executive producers. Them boys was molested long ago. All right? That's about Michael.
Michael Jackson is another person totally with the mask.
When Mike comes out, he has his disguise on, So I starts laughing. Because I didn't even recognize him, Sometimes I forget that he's supposed to be in his disguise, And I keep calling him Mike. So then when I realized she was peeping, then I start calling him Dave. Dave.
Hello all, this is Dave. How are you? Our world has come to an interesting point in an interesting time. This is a very interesting project we're working on. I want to thank each and every one of you for your overwhelming support. May God bless you. I love you. Good night.
Thank you very much for all of your support, and may God bless you all. I love you. Goodbye.
I believe that I lost a person in my life, but at the same time, I gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience. To his Encino house.
I think I was at the Encino house.
To his Encino house.
I think I was at the Encino house.
To his Encino house.
I think I was at the Encino house.
Encino house.
The Encino house.